In this video we're hanging a Sanderson's wallpaper. It's a free match, there's no match to it. It's paste the wall, and I will be showing you how to, the main thing, paper around a radiator, and also when you're starting a wall like this, work it all out. I'm going to show you how you hang from an angle, from the corner for your first drop. So keep watching. Hello everybody, it's another day. Now if you're following this video or following on from a previous video where I was papering either side of that chimney breast, another day, come with a fresh start. I've got another wall to do. Now this wall I'm doing is already lined because I've done that on a previous video using the reinforced lining paper from Brewers, which is great. Now this paper I'm doing on this wall, I promise you it's not going to be a long video. I'm not going to show you how to wallpaper. There are videos there if you want to see wallpapering videos. What I want to do on this one, I want to touch on the use of a laser liner and hanging on a wall straight from the corner. People are going to go, what are you doing that for? What are you doing that for? It's because it's knowing how to do it. Right, paper of choice today. Thankfully it's a Sanderson's. This is a paste the wall, and can you see that? Those that know, go on, look at that. Repeat. It's random, so just put it on. Right, so what I'm going to do, hopefully you can see from this position, I'll just zoom you in slightly, what I've done and how I'll be approaching it. Right, I'm hanging from this corner because, as I said on a previous video, these walls are in a display area at a shop, so every so often I come back and we remove them and replace. So that's what I'm doing now. But this wall's totally different to that one. What I don't want to be doing is overlapping or corking any of the edges on these angles, because what I don't want to do is damage another paper if I'm only taking off one paper at a time. Makes sense, I think. So where I am at the moment, I'm hanging from that corner there. I've offered up this paper, and when I mean offered it up, I've counted how many lengths I'm going to need, drops, to see where the positions are, to see how it falls all the way to that corner there, where can you see where the alarm sensors are? And doing it straight from that corner is fine, but how do you actually hang to a corner that's running out? Now this cottagey barn, it's greyhound's back leg. What I've done, and let's bring you in a bit closer. What I've done, and I'll explain it to you. I've put this, let me get my pencil. I've put this piece of paper, width paper, against the angle, up at the top, marked it. Do that 3 or 4 times down the wall. Then get your laser and just put your laser on those lines and see how much it's actually running out. Now you can tell it's running out because where one of my marks is, there's nearly 1/4 of an inch between the red line and where the pencil mark is. So how do you get around that? What you do is you offset it. So just bring your wallpaper in. You only probably need to bring it in 1/2 inch. Might not be as much as that. But look where your line is, because some of these lines might be true to the width of the paper, but you still want to just offset it. So I can see that mark there, you probably can't see it, that mark there is good with the width and good with the laser liner, i.e. it's a plumb line. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring it in, I'll tell you what, I'll bring it in 1/4 inch, just 1/4 inch, about 5 mil. So I've brought it in 1/4 inch. I don't hope you can see, you probably can't. And I'm going to adjust the laser onto that line. Let it stop. I'm looking at it and thinking, that's bang on. So now that laser, I don't know whether where's my laser goggles? Let's just see if you can see it. Can you see? There's the laser. Yeah, you can see it. So the laser is on that mark that's 1/4 inch in from what the width of the paper was when that was against the corner. Now we've got that 1/4 of an inch in, clearly you understand there'll be a bit being trimmed off. That's what we want. So now I'm going to mark with a pencil on the laser, there, 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 and under the plug socket. And the lines you don't want, just put a little cross through them, because you know they're not the ones you want to line up to. So I'm happy, we've got a plumb line there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get the paste out, I'm going to paste the wall, and I'm going to drop this down. So just bear with me, I won't show you how to paste because that was another video. Once I get the paper going, I'll show you how we're doing it. Right, so I've pasted that up, and I'm still using, because I've still got some left from doing these other walls, I'm still using the no nonsense wallpaper adhesive tub paste. Very good, and quite pleased with that. And I've applied it with just 2.5 inch brush, just to cut into the top edge nicely there, bring it down against the paper there, and then filled in with a long power roller, and the long power roller is the Rotor Gold. So we're all good to go. Right, I've got a squeegee, a spatula, I've got a new blade in my knife there, and I've got a hanging brush in my pocket as well. Boxwood seam roller. Not that I'm needing that just at the minute. Right, here's the paper, brand spanking. Look, could we emulsion the wall? Quite possibly. Never mind. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the roll on the floor and draw up like that. If you've got a nice clean sheet underneath the roll, it rolls round nicely. So that's, I've got a sheet on the floor. Right, I'm bringing it up like this. We only want a couple of inch at the top. This is an unwoven, don't forget. Just bring it in. Right, I know where my lines are. If I lean back, I can just see where the laser is. I'm just going to put the paper onto that line, onto that line. I'll come down, get it on lower down. There's the laser all the way down onto the next one. We've got a plug socket just below, but I'm not worried about that at the moment. Right, I'm on that laser all the way along. I can turn that laser off now because I know I'm on it. And I'm going to start from the middle. I'll start from the middle and draw it across into the angle. I'm just using my hand at the moment. Right. Getting it down. Very forgiving having a non-woven paper. Right, just going to get it into that corner. I've told you before about taking the pressure off corners just with the shears, so I know where the corner is there. I'm just going to cut there and just do a little star cut, just a single star. Bring that back into the corner. You see that back into the corner and it folds nicely. Now, am I happy with that? Yeah, let's just get a hanging brush. And then I'm going to get, while I'm here, the spatula and just trim that top off. I always like to use a shorter trimming knife. I find a long trimming knife like that can make its own line up, whereas a short one I can feel the undulation and just keep that following that undulation, which that's cut nicely. Got a warm damp sponge wiping off anything there. Right, so we're good on that. I'm happy. I'm going to start working down now. Let's bring it down. bring it down. Right, I'm still on my line, still got the laser level line there. Bring that down. Yeah, we're good on that. Right, there's a socket here. I hope you can see the socket. I'm just going to put a pencil mark on the corner, which is just there and there. Make a note of where the edge of the socket is, cut inside of that. If you can, pull that back. The socket is away from the wall. I'll just loosen it off a little bit more. Turn your power off if you're a little bit worried about getting a shock. Slide that into there. 1, 2, and then the bottom will slide in as well. There we go in. It's got one of them black inserts which is getting in my way. Right, we're in. Right, use your hand, just get it down. I'm still on my lines. Yeah. Squeegee it down, and I'm getting ready just to trim that bottom off. Right. Just go a couple of inches below the skirting and trim that off. There we are. Easy as that. Let's just get all this down around the socket, get that in underneath, squeegee it down, across back into the angle, pushing it nicely in. And then I've got, you can see, I've got some pipes just here which I've got to feed at the back. So look for where the bracket is and trim the brackets out. So just find the middle of the bracket and go with your shears all the way up to the wall and trim. That's good. Now find the side, get your knife, trim from the corner, bring it across. Trim across the top, push it down, do it neat, take that away. Now that should now, can you see, I'm tucking it behind the back of the pipes. Let me just see if I can just trim a bit of the side off so I'm not pulling that through as well. Where is it? Right. Can go at the back. Very robust having a non-woven paper. That's gone in lovely. I've got nastiness with this side here. Let's get that down. Tucking the paper at the back of the pipes. Squeegeing it in position. If you need to do some little star cuts around the pipe, do so. I've just used that as an edge to cut against when I've pushed it at the back of the pipe. That looks fine. Do the same the other side, mark it and cut it. I might have to freehand this. mark around the pipe down here. Let's bring you down. I'll try and bring you down and show you. So what I've done, I've squeezed that all the way down, used that as the straight edge to cut. I'm nicely in cut against there, and I'm just at the moment going to mark with a pencil, just HB pencil, just round here, round there, push it in with your finger, just round there, and that's what you need to cut off. Now let me just see if I can cut it with a blade. I think I can. Yeah. Let's see if we can do a bit more. Very difficult when you're on camera trying to do it and explain it. So we've got a cut there. I'm going to bring a cut just there. Always have a sharp blade. Try and bring that out. Don't forget, this is something that's never probably going to be seen. Just poke that bit of... Yeah, got that away now. Right, come around this side. You see what I'm doing? If anything, I'm just cutting into the paintwork and not into the copper of the pipe. Might have to put the camera down. I'll put your camera down. Yeah, put your camera down. Yeah, what I did there, I just marked it with a pencil. Can you see? I just need to push that in there. Look at that, it's very tight. Nobody's going to see that now. Push it in. Very good. Right, probably just cut off that bit there. Oh. Probably leave it, that's really at the bottom, but up here that's fine. Right, so I've trimmed it there. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Right, go all the way up. Get back on the stand. So we've done that. Use your pencil, use your shears, whatever you need to trim it. Now, this is that 1/4 of an inch overlap that I'm going to be getting rid of now. You see it? And what I've got is a sharp blade there. I've got my spatula and I'm going to neatly cut top to bottom. Don't try and do it in one, just edge your way down, you'll see. I might be blocking the camera, sorry. Always keep your blade in place, don't take your blade off. Even though I'm moving the spatula, I'm not taking the blade off the angle. Easy as that, top to bottom. Comes off in one piece. So has that explained it? So there we have it. We've got, you can't even see it, we've got a nice cut into that corner. Can you see that? Nice cut into that corner. You can see where the cut is because obviously it's two different papers, but it's down. Run your hand over it to make sure there's no air bubbles, and there isn't. I've already ran a sponge over it, a clean sponge with some warm water just in case any paste gone onto anything, and I'm happy with that. That down at the bottom, down there where the pipe is, around the socket. Job's a good one. It's one of them, it's not quite a blind man on a galloping horse because it's that low down. You just get it as neat as you can around the knuckles, you know, where the pipes come out the wall, but it is neat. What I've shown you is really close up of getting it down to skirting carpet level to look at it coming back from the bottom, which nobody's going to do. But other than that, I'm good to go on to the next one now, so I'll see you later on. Right, I'm ready to go with the next one. I promise you I'm not going to do the whole wall, but I just want to show you the tricky bits that you'll come across if you're doing paper hanging. Now, I've shown you how to offset that corner there. Can you just see it beyond? Yeah. Just offset it so we can hang straight from a corner. So we've got a plumb edge there. Now we're coming up to a radiator. We've got the socket, and there's there's a video there about cutting around sockets if you need a bit more clarification on that. But what I've not done before is going around a radiator that is in place and we can't take it off. So basic principles is get your paper in as far as you possibly can. Not rocket science. But what I've done, I've pasted that wall now, and I've literally, with my paste brush, I have gone in at the back of that radiator, literally as far as I can possibly go, and that is really to where the bracket that's holding the radiator is. I've got paste there. I've made sure I've got plenty of paste as far as I can into there, because when I drop that down, there'll be paper going up as near as I possibly can to that bracket, and I'll try and explain that to you as I'm doing it. So let's give it a go. Right, again, I'm going to be butt jointing onto the edge that we've got there, and at the top what I'll be doing is trimming it to the top while I've got that section all nice and smooth and actually down, so I don't need to come back to that. So yeah, I'm going to crack on. Again, I'm putting the roll on the floor and drawing up. This paper is brilliant on the joints. Brilliant it is on the joints. Move it across. You will not see a joint on this paper. Another bonus of me doing the lining, I've got a lovely smooth wall to be working over. And I know people will say, oh yeah, but I can sand it and I can put guards on it and everything. You can't beat preparing a wall properly and then properly lining it, and that gives me a lovely clean sound surface to work over. And when you're dealing with wallpapers that can be 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, £100 a roll plus, line it. With this being a smooth paper, don't over polish the edge, just wipe it nicely that you've got no paste coming through. I've just gently wiped that down, and you know what, I don't think it'll even need a seam roller on it. That is tight as nun's knickers. Just thought I'd move you around on this. So what I've done, I've come down there, we've got it on, nice butt joints, I'm happy with. And now we've got to work it to get it at the back of there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut off the excess at the bottom of the roll, give myself plenty to work with so it's not cut short. If I don't speak, it's because I'm concentrating. Right, I've got it in position now, and I'm just going to look where the bracket is. I'm going to get it at the back as far as I possibly can, pushing it down. That's where you've got to manipulate it. Look, see how that's folding down there? And what I'll do, I'll get my shears and just feel where the bracket is. And what I've done, I can actually feel the top of the bracket, so I'm just going to make sure that I've got a mark on the paper where that bracket is. Yeah, I can see it. Now I've got a pencil. I'm going to line my paper up. I'm going to do a pencil mark all the way across my paper and just a little bit beyond, because that's where I want to do a cut, and then cut up from the bottom. So you'll see what I'm doing now. That's where the pencil mark is. I'm just going to cut above it. Now I know that is where the bracket is, and the paper will sit at the top of the bracket. Now if I'm really careful, I can probably line that up, use a pencil, use the grooves of the radiator, bring that down to about tell you again, where I've got the cut, I've done a straight line with a pencil against the radiator to about 2 inches above where the bottom of the radiator is, and I'm going to come in from the side there, because that will be under the radiator, and then I'm going to cut that piece off. That should be where the bracket is. So what I'm going to do now is feed that paper at the back again and then down. That's spot on. I'm probably about that far off with the cut of the paper to the bracket, and I'm happy with that. Right. I'm nicely at the top of the bracket. Right, sort this socket out again. Sliding the paper at the back of this socket. Using the squeegee on the joint, making sure my joints are down, which it is. Just bringing it in there, squeezing any paste up. Spot on. So excited, I've nearly done a little wee in me overalls. So excited I got that right first time. Normally I don't. Right, I'm going to show you what it actually looks like looking down. So what we've done, like what you can see, I'll use a screwdriver. I made a pencil mark across where that bracket is there, and I cut it just beyond the bracket by only it's not probably about 1/4 of an inch. Now when I did the pencil mark all the way down, that was then trimmed, so you can just see there's a bit of paper short up to the bracket. That doesn't matter because we've got all that distance there. Nobody's going to see it, nobody's going to be looking at that. We've got it at the top. We've squeegeed it down and it's tight. Now what does it look like from there? You can't see it, you see. Look at that. So I'm happy with that. All I've got to do now, and I'm not going to show you how to do it, we're going to cut where these brackets are again and get that down. So I'll see when I've done that. So here we are with the tricky bits, and I must say I'm quite pleased with how that's worked out under there all the way along. That's not too bad. And then just make sure that when you're doing those bits there, you wiped all the paste off. So next one is just going to be a straightforward drop from top to bottom, lining up with the bracket below using a pencil and pushing it down and hanging that, and then we do that all the way across till we come to the last one there, which is the same as doing this one. And then across the bottom, this isn't actually a pattern match, so it doesn't matter if it runs out slightly, you can just fill in across there with your paper. I'll catch you later on. So that length went on dead easy, because all I was doing was just cut into the top of the bracket. You could see where you were, so you just tuck it down, fold it as far as you can with your squeegee, get a pencil, mark a pencil line across where you've squeegeed the curve, and then just cut it, and then that just drops nicely to the same height as what the previous length that you hung there. Now I've gone ahead, I've actually pasted that down, and I'm going to drop another one down and do exactly the same as the previous time. Again, find the top of the bracket, mark off on the front of the radiator, cut across, leaving 2 inches above the bottom of where the radiator will be, and that should fit in nicely. So let me get that on. I'll leave the camera there, and then you'll probably see me working around that bit. Again, I'm doing the tops, wiping them as I come to them. That's the top done dead easy. Eagle-eyed viewers will notice that yeah, there's a bit of a makeshift plaster there. I put my thumb against the blade, literally. The blade was open and I put the thumb against it and just did a little bit of a nick at the side of my nail. It stopped bleeding, but stings. Just don't want any blood over the wallpaper. Be alright. Right, where we are, I'm going to tuck that down again like I did before, find the top of the bracket, mark it with the pencil, cut it, and then do all my bits and pieces. I've made a pencil mark that little bit longer on this one because the bracket is an L-shaped and sometimes the metal face isn't at the back of the radiator, it's on the sides to the radiator, which you don't probably want the paper going over, so don't worry about that. That went on a dream. It fell nicely at the back of the radiator with a nice strip, and it went underneath as well. And just while I've been filling up a bucket of water, I've put that little piece in underneath, and I'll just show you that. Right, so start with there. We're all at the back. Look at that, you can't fault that. You see where the edge is, up against the bracket. Smoothed it down. I'm up to the bracket there. I've come round. I've nicely got it. The back of these pipes there. Just there. Nobody's going to see that. And then I've just put a piece in just here. There's a slight overlap, but that doesn't matter. Nobody's going to see it there. I can probably try and squeeze that down. When that dries, it'll be lovely. So there we are. That's paper in at the back of a radiator. All I've got to do now is do the drop next to it, which will be dead easy, and then just round there, down there, and then I've done. So I'll come to you when I've actually finished. And there we have it, everybody. We're all finished. This wall's taken me 2.5 hours, and that was with doing the bit of filming, telling you how to go around a radiator and telling you about the first cut. You can't see it, this paper's so pale. The first cut being into the angle and then coming out, and all we've done is just offset it 1/4 of an inch and then trimmed it back, so if there is anything running out, it's allowed for it. But all in all, I will say that's Sanderson's paper. Caspian wallpaper's there. You see that? That's the details. What a lovely focus. What a lovely paper to hang. It's brilliant on joints. You can bump them across, get them matching up. I've not used the seam roller. I've just used my squeegee and got them down and wiped them with the damp warm sponge. And I was struggling to even feel them on the actual surface. No, I can't even feel them. So all in all, really good. What I do want to say to you is, if I can show you just here, going around these arches, let's call it an opening, don't take it for granted that when you come to there, your next piece is a short one, and then the piece after that goes above and then down the side. Don't take it that when it drops down the side it's still plumb. Get your plumb line on it, get your laser liner on it, and make sure that as you're coming off the top and down, you're still keeping a true edge. Because as that came off the top, being butt jointed, I'm looking at it on my finger, butt jointed just there, as it went across and then down, it wanted to run out, and by the time I got a laser liner on it, it was out by 3/4 of an inch. So what I had to do is just manipulate it a bit, pull it off, put it back on to the line that I'd got with the laser, and then it was good, which made it a lot easier for finishing off the last 2 lengths. There was a full length there that took in the plug socket, and then the last one was just trimming off a little bit into the corner where the fuse board is there, and then the alarm sensor just there. So just be mindful of that. Keep it plumb. If you've got it plumb, you can't go wrong, hopefully. This paper is very forgiving because it's no match, no pattern, but it's still nice to keep that true plumb line on the edge. So all in all, really pleased with that. I'm going to say thanks to the supporters that are doing me super thanks, and also buy me a coffee. Buy me a coffee is lovely. It's a good way of supporting the channel. Please watch the videos that come up at the end, because there might be something that you've not seen before, or you might be interested in. So thanks very much. I think we've covered everything on this, and see you on the next one.